I wasn't there, Julie, and I certainly can't speak for Delegate Tran, but I would tell you, one, first thing I would say, this is why decisions such as this should be made by providers, physicians, and the mothers and fathers that are involved. There are, when we talk about third trimester abortions, these are done with the consent of obviously the mother, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way. And it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities, there may be a fetus that's non-viable. So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother. So I think this was really blown out of proportion. But again, we want the government not to be involved in these types of decisions. We want the decision to be made by the mothers and their providers. And this is why, Julie, that legislators, most of whom are men, by the way, shouldn't be telling a woman what she should and shouldn't be doing with her body.
And do you think multiple physicians should have to weigh in, as is currently required? She's trying to lift that requirement.
Well, I think it's always good to get a second opinion, and for at least two providers to be involved in that decision, because these decisions shouldn't be taken lightly. And so, I would certainly support more than one provider.
All right.
Mid-American Patriot. Get some.
I'm not one who typically lends his emotions to politics. However, as progressives push the abortion debate forward, it seems that some of them have nefarious intentions. And they're upsetting. Like many of you, I enjoy following Joe Rogan. The other day, he had on Alex Jones, and they began the discussion along the lines that Virginia Governor Ralph Northam, who was caught wearing blackface, was promoting infanticide 2 weeks after a child had been born. And what was worse is that he targeted babies who may be deformed. I'm going to use footage from Rogan to show you his expression when he hears Mr. Northam turn from governor into full-fledged monster. Watch.
It's only 2 minutes.
Mothers and fathers that are involved. There are, when we talk about third trimester abortions, these are done with the consent of obviously the mother, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way. And it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities, there may be a fetus that's non-viable. So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered, the infant would be kept comfortable, the infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired, and then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother. So I think this was really blown out of proportion. But again, we want the government not to be involved in these types of decisions. We want the decision to be made by the mothers and their providers. And this is why, Julie, that legislators, most of whom are men, by the way, shouldn't be telling a woman what she should and shouldn't be doing with her body.
And do you think multiple physicians should have to weigh in, as is currently required? She's trying to lift that requirement.
Well, I think it's always good to get a second opinion, and for at least two providers to be involved in that decision, because these decisions shouldn't be taken lightly. And so, I would certainly support more than one provider.
All right, let's go back to the...
Wow, that's a weird thing that she just kind of let him say.
Would you like to the rest of the story? Because Jamie pulled it up.
But hold on a second. What's weird is that they were talking about resuscitating the baby, that they would keep the baby alive, then a decision would be made. Isn't that's like euthanasia? Like, you can't even do that to your Grammy.
That's why you're so smart, John. I'm not kissing your ass.
But you can't do that to your Grammy, right? Your Grammy's like 80 years old. You can't just kill her.
Well, remember Newsweek? Remember the Newsweek cover, the case for killing Granny? They say that, so let me explain.
We're supposed to forget Podesta's emails and Pizzagate, and the idea of Marina Abramovic having cannibalistic parties with children in attendance. However, I think harvesting babies up to 2 weeks past birth is beyond disgusting and appalling, and I think it shows the absolute base of depravity amongst progressives. It is unhuman. The act of monsters who can look at a fully functioning human baby and make the decision to kill it for the purposes of harvesting its organs. I'm going to repeat that again. It is not humans who are doing this to fellow humans. No, these people are less than human. They are monsters, gruesome, Terrifying, soulless monsters who can look a baby in the eye and murder and harvest that child for its skin. That does not sound like the America I know. This sounds like something different, something evil and alien, abnormal behavior from abnormal people. It is time to pull away the curtain of the progressive movement and tear down big tech, who is running interference for these monsters. By aiding and abetting these monsters, institutions such as Facebook, Google, Instagram, YouTube, and Apple are included as monsters as well because they aid murderers. You may be asking yourself, how is big tech aiding in the murder of children who are up to 2 weeks old? And that is simple. By censoring voices, by censoring people, not allowing the word to get out, is an active form of aiding and abetting. They are running interference for people who are doing nefarious things. Anyone who works for these organizations are co-conspirators in the aiding and murdering of 2-week-old humans. Anyone associated with this practice, even indirectly, should not only be indicted, prosecuted, and incarcerated, but all of their ill-gotten gains should be seized by law enforcement. These people who engage in the practice of murdering children who are up to 2 weeks of age should be put on trial, and penalties should start at capital punishment for the mass murder of people. It's time to get down to the bottom of this issue and start handing out indictments for those who are accused of the abhorrent act of infanticide. I support Alex Jones. I support InfoWars. I support free speech. I support our president. I support this country. And I lift you up, the patriot, the Minuteman, ready to go at a moment's notice. If you find the idea of infanticide disgusting, you need to pick up your phone and call your congressman, your governor, your senators and representatives, and you need to let them know that this practice is unacceptable. Killing children is un-American. We protect children. We don't murder them as Americans. That is not who we are. That is not who America is. That is who progressives are. That is who Hitler was. If you subscribe to the ideology that murdering small, helpless children is okay, you are the equivalent of Adolf Hitler. Excelsior! If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe.
Mid-American Patriot. Get some.